Welcome to FrogTV's FAQs. I'm Adam Baker. Guys, as you know, each week I'm coming directly to you with our leading travel consultants to answer your most frequently asked questions. If you have a question for us or about this video, let me know in the comments box below and we'll get straight back to you. This week's question's a good one. You're finishing your vacation on the beach. Do you go to Manuel Antonio or Guanacaste? Which one? Pros and cons of both. Let's find out. Anastasia, you're in Guanacaste, but what would your preference be for finishing a vacation on the coast? What are the differences?
So that's tough. I would say if you're finishing out the vacation on the coast, Guanacaste is nice because it's much closer to the airport. So it's a quick, like 45 minutes to an hour trip back to the airport from here to Liberia. The beaches are beautiful. There is still a lot of wildlife. But there's more of a resort touristy kind of feel to this area. And if that's what you're looking for, that's fantastic. But if you're really looking for somewhere that's unique to Costa Rica, that you're going to see some things that you probably won't see anywhere else, like if you want the sloths and 4 species of monkeys and you want really local fishing towns, you know, that kind of charm, you're going to get much more of that down in Manuel Antonio, but it's a 3-hour hike back to the airport. So it's kind of a trade-off in that sense.
Very true. And Melanie, also, of course, if you're finishing in Guanacaste in the high season, it's an awful lot hotter, not quite as green and lush as you might think it is, as opposed to Manuel Antonio, which is quite green throughout the year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention, is a lot of people have that picture of like Jurassic Park for Costa Rica, and Guanacaste doesn't necessarily look like that in the summertime. It's very hot and dry. That's a huge trade-off for me. I personally like Manuel Antonio because it's green and lush and you have all the wildlife, the monkeys running around and all of that. You still have monkeys in Guanacaste. You can still see a lot, but it's a totally different feel. And it is a little bit more of like an authentic charm, like Anastasia was saying, in Manuel Antonio compared to Guanacaste.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, and just to butt in there, just to clarify something on Melanie's comment, she means the Costa Rican summertime as opposed to the American summertime.
Yeah, that's a good...
Costa Rican summertime is from the end of December through April.
Yeah, our dry season, like you say, Christmas all the way to the end of April. But we've done a video on that as well, guys, which I'll send a link to in case you want to learn more about the weather around the Costa Rica seasons. How do you explain the two between those two destinations?
So over there, what I do is I try to get a feeling on how adventurous they are and the ages of the kids. Because as Jake said before, if we're having smaller kids, Manuel Antonio is going to be an amazing destination for them. If the kids are a little bit older, then we might try to use Manuel Antonio as well. If not, I'm pretty sure that on Guanacaste on the Northern Pacific, we have very nice beaches, very nice towns where all the family can have a very good time. So it basically will depend on the feeling that I'm having with the customer and the conversation that we're having and what they're looking for.
That makes sense. Does that sound about right, guys?
Yeah, it also depends on the time of year, because in September, like August, September, October, it can become a bit more wet here in the Central Pacific. So we naturally try to steer people towards the North Pacific, because also that time of year is when it's green and lush and it looks like a rainforest. And then also flights. There are times that certain areas have better flights in and out of Liberia versus San Jose. I've found that it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other now. But people coming from Florida, it's much cheaper in and out of San Jose versus Liberia. So those two factors also play a role in what's the best recommendation.
So there we go, guys. I hope you found those responses helpful. If you're looking for a more detailed response, please get in touch with me and I'll help you out as best as possible. As ever, please don't forget to subscribe by clicking just here to stay in touch with everything Costa Rica related and new content every week. For FrogTV, from all the travel consultants and myself, Adam Baker, hasta la próxima.